currently doing chore work for our dad and uncles and had bought his own car and apparently saved enough to get an apartment. It was weird and my parents were sad, but more than that, they were proud and happy for him. Dad offered John money to help him start out life on his own, but John refused and said, "You'd be fine." My parents were insanely proud of John. They're not typically the brag about my kid kind of people, but they were telling everyone how independent and responsible and mature and fearless John was. Now, it's important to note that us siblings were always fairly close. I cried the first night John was gone and wanted my dad to figure out a way to make him come back because I was scared he passed away or something. So when the communication suddenly was almost nothing, it was weird and we missed him, but our parents said that he was busy working and taking care of himself and that when he settled and figured things out, he'd be back to his normal self. It never happened though, and he also stopped really talking to them. He talked to us around birthdays and holidays, but even then it was strange. He always tried to meet up with siblings for dinners or drinks on birthdays, always visits our parents very quickly on their birthday and Mother's and Father's Day, and on Thanksgiving and Christmas he's in and out. For example, our older brother was the only one there when John was there for our mom's most recent birthday, and he said John was very clinical in that it felt more like a soldier was paying respect to a commanding officer than anyone visiting their parents. One thing about this that stood out was that John talked to our mom and dad and brother about a lot going on in his life. Apparently, he's got a girlfriend and just got a dog, and has a great new job in construction. No one knew any of this, and Dad cracked a joke about how they were terrible parents because how could they not know anything about what was going on in one of their kids' lives? After John left, our mom looked sad, and when our older brother asked her what was wrong, she said that it felt like John didn't want to be around her and that she missed him before she refused to say anything more about it. So our older brother started a group chat with everyone but John to ask about if anyone had noticed anything wrong with him. We'd all talked about how distant he'd been over the years, but never like this. At the end of it, we all arranged to meet up with John and try to talk to him to make sure everything was okay. It took some effort to get him to open up, but he finally did, and what he said really rocked our family. He said that I'm not their real son. We all immediately tried to reassure him that mom and dad loved him, and we do too, but he had all these stories about how mom and dad treated him differently. There were a lot of examples. Things like older brother would hug or kiss mom on the cheek, but she'd push John off if he tried the same. Dad would happily talk sports with anyone, but would be short with John. Our grandparents were never excited to see him. Aunts and uncles not interested in him or his hobbies or what was going on at school. One incident where dad asked each boy to go on a hunting trip and never asked John until they were leaving. And when he did finally ask, you could tell my dad was annoyed, and my brothers did